fifth woman on our show. Her name is Janet Seto. She, again, is one of the people I first got introduced to when I started my entrepreneurship and my own business, or really took the biggest dive into it. This woman has graced me with a wealth of information, passion, and above and beyond, like a wonderful friendship where she and I are a lot aligned in a lot of the way we think, especially spiritually. And I just can't say anything more wonderful that, except for that you're an incredible human. And thanks for being in my life, Janet. So thank you so much for being on the show today.
I am grateful that and honored that you asked me. Thank you very much for having me.
It was an easy ask. I actually poked at Janet too. I had a couple. She was busy when I was initially getting people lined up for guests and stuff, and she wasn't able to pinpoint a date. And then I had a cancellation, so Janet was my first grab, and I'm like, I kept nudging her to get in, and she finally agreed. So I'm really blessed that she was able to come on earlier than anticipated. I'm gonna read a little bit about your awesomeness, Janet. So I'm just gonna read about who you are. So Janet is a dot connector at heart with an uncanny ability to carry a Rolodex in her head. Janet helps clients grow their businesses by making the right connections. This has led her to be voted the WOW Ambassador of the Year in the year of 2016 and appointed the director of Hub Inc. Ottawa in 2018. Growing up in her family restaurant since 1975, as a general manager since her father's passing in 2011, the skills Janet learned from childhood have been instrumental in creating her business as the social architect. Passionate to help others, she works with service-based businesses to generate leads, maximize their networks, and monetize their connections. Every morning since 2006, Janet has loved driving children with special needs to school. As a social enterprise, she works with many charities and nonprofits. Her most recent charity of choice has been the Ottawa Rotary Home Foundation, an organization that gives respite care to families. During these unprecedented times, funding for these organizations will be obsolete as businesses will need to retain their funds for essentials. As we move forward, building asset-based system for these organizations will lessen the pressure of the donors and create self-funded wealth streams. That's amazing that you put that in there. This is one of the reasons why you're so great. You're like, and a little bit of a plug. I love that. I love that. So Janet, getting into the nitty gritty, let's go on to some of the challenges that you wanted to discuss in the show today. Can you give us a little bit of a description about the challenges that you wanted to talk about?
Well, like you mentioned in my bio, my father passed away in 2011. And that was a huge life-changing moment for myself and my family, my immediate family, but also my siblings and my mother. After running the restaurant at that point, sorry, my math is really poor, but over 30 years.
A while.
Yes. Everything was pretty set. My dad and my mom ran the restaurant together. And all of a sudden, he's in the hospital. And it just happened to be in the middle of the summer. We also have a banquet hall that we have huge parties and receptions in. So we had weddings, we had anniversary parties, we had huge monumental birthday parties, family reunions, all within those 3 weekends. And my dad is similar to me, where he stores all his information in his head. So trying to find out every event that happened those weeks was incredibly challenging. And
Wow.
Trying to also hold the family together while he's in the hospital, while he's going through surgery, and then ultimately when he never woke up. So it was devastating, but the business has to keep running. Like, you can't let life get in the way if you have a business. That's one key lesson I learned, that you have to separate the two no matter what. And we had so many families that were upset that they didn't hear about it because they lived outside of our Elmer community, and the notices didn't go out to the outlying areas. So when we had the day of the funeral, there were people that were devastated that, oh my goodness, Peter's gone? And I missed it because we were closed and they saw the notice on the door. So learning everything so let me backtrack just a little bit. My mother and father had a different relationship than you would consider Canadianized. As our culture, the man handled all the business.
Hmm.
So my mother didn't understand any of the operations of the business other than a few little minor, scheduling and paying the bills, that sort of thing. So the back end of the running of the business, anything I had to ask her, she didn't know. So I was also, just treading water and keeping my head above water, trying to learn everything as I go. So that was a huge, huge learning curve for me. And I'm very proud to say that, I taught myself almost everything from that point on, and it's been quite successful.
Yes, and it's delicious too to go and eat and enjoy.
Yes, thank you. And now, almost 9 years later, we're in this crisis.
Yeah.
The world is in chaos, and we've had to downsize the business from one afternoon, we get a message saying our lotto machines are going to be turned off immediately. So in Quebec, we are allowed lotto machines where you can throw money in and play and gamble.
Yeah.
So they were shut down within minutes. So that means my bar was shut down. And then within another week, the dining room was shut down. So everything started progressing rapidly where I had to lay off 75% of my staff.
Wow.
Now we're down to about 7 people in all of 25 that I had. And we're running a takeout and delivery service. So learning to pivot and deciding that, before they shut down our buffet, we shut down the buffet. And people were appreciative of that. Then knowing that the first 2 weeks of people in shock that we had no business. So do I lay even more people off?
Hmm.
But then luckily people started realizing that we were open. So now our business is pretty good for takeout and delivery right now because we have an in-house delivery team.
Well, that's awesome.
So
Yeah.
so
So
we're
you're,
able to retain a lot of our profit,
that's great.
and we're only open in the evening. And as soon as 4 o'clock happens, people are calling. It's pretty interesting when I walk in and there's like already 10 orders ready to be packed. So
Well,
it's
you're the restaurant has been such like a long staple for the community, especially in the Elmer and Gatineau area. I mean, I know that once I got adjusted to going there weekly, just A to see you, but I was like, oh, I get my Chinese food today. So I mean, people get attached to you and to the staff and the service that you provide. That it I don't honestly doesn't surprise me that when they found out that you're open, that you have like a long list of orders waiting for you because they still want that as part of their staple and part of their, their regular living is to come and enjoy. They can't come to you and enjoy the experience, but at least they'll be able to enjoy the food at the same time.
we're lucky
Yeah.
that I guess there's not a lot of things they can spend their money on, and they get sick of their own cooking.
Or they love your restaurant's cooking that they're able. Like I said, it's part. I liked it because I associated the food as being tasty and enjoyable, but it was also the experience of being in
Mm-hmm.
the restaurant because it's such a welcoming environment, and the people that you work with, like yourself and your staff. I know you hire staff based on their like their skill sets, but also on their personality. So it really goes to show that you're doing everything right, and your ability to think forward. And when you said you closed down the buffet prior to being already asked to, it's almost like you knew where you had to pivot and where you had to adapt, and you just made all the right calls with that. And if you didn't, at least
Mm-hmm.
you, if you know that. And I know you as a type of person that, you feel like, okay, so this didn't work. If you fail forward, you're like, this didn't work, so I'm going to go in a different avenue. And then you just keep trucking because you said when you have a business, there's not much choice. You just keep going. So that's
Yes.
awesome. And what are things that you learned as to overcome and be successful? Like I know you said there's a lot of self learning that you did. Were there any different commonalities you found throughout the years that you were growing and learning how to become self sufficient and how to grow and how to overcome?
I always grew up learning to be of service to others. And that has
That's
been
beautiful.
a huge lightening of my heart. So when you
Hmm.
give, especially without expectation, you feel better, you feel lighter, and you're actually elevating your vibration. So when
Love
you
that.
share with others and help others, you're actually making the world a more positive place.
And to put a little bit of a plug in there for me, because I appreciate you so much and what you do, what you offer the world. Um, did you want to discuss a little bit about the living life of impact and how that connects with your, the social architect? Because again, you know how much I embrace what you do and how much I love how you put it out there into the world. So could you explain a little bit more about what you mean by like service to the world and community and stuff, and how you've like literally built that into the social architect?
Well, I am thankful again to you because you were able to speak at my event. I had a Living a Life of Impact live event where I showcased many successful entrepreneurs in our community who lived through challenges and struggles and some life-threatening illnesses and have risen above and was able to come and share their success stories and share what they are able to contribute to society. So when I choose a charity of the year that I support, that doesn't mean that everyone is going to connect with that charity. So I'm also bringing other charities on board that might connect with others as well, because we're all here to help each other. We are better together as a community and as a whole. And when we support each other, everything is better for everyone.
That's similar to what Emil was saying too on the show last week. Is that he's like, if everybody not only looked, took care of themselves, but also like poured into the community, then it wouldn't just be you looking after yourself. It'd be the whole community looking at you as well.
Yes.
And that's, I find that you do that as well as like as the dot connector between person to person. Like you love to pour into other people's connections and how you use your own consulting as a way to give back. Like you found, not only did you found like a great consulting a firm or a company, but you also, because it's you found a way for it to like pour into the community and give service to like different aspects of it. But are you able to talk a little bit about social architect and what you do as a dot connector?
Well, it'll probably be a little bit more clear once my app is released because
It's gonna be incredible.
it's a little slow right now because not a lot of people are working.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take a little longer than expected. But on that platform, it'll show the difference of how I bring people together at different levels and the benefits to them, why they should partner with the social architect. Because I think at a different level, I'm not just connecting people to people just because you need a realtor. I'm going to go into my Rolodex and think, okay, this energetic person will work with this energetic person. I also match personalities and energies to get a better fit. So when I grow my database, I also grow it at a different level, whereas I build true authentic relationships with my people. It's not just a business card saying, oh, I know this person. I actually get to know you as a person.
That's
And that's how I
awesome.
grow.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, Janet. I really appreciate it. Um, what is to, on a regular basis, like on a daily basis, to live a healthy lifestyle?
Well, exercise, of course. And while I've been isolated, I've been taking our dog out daily for at least once a day walk. And it's pretty funny because I took my daughter yesterday and I'm like, I'm power walking. You gotta speed up and elevate your heart rate. And she's like, Mom, you're going too fast. I said, no, it's not a stroll. We have to exercise to be healthy.
That's
So
awesome.
she was having a hard time keeping up with her old mom.
Well, well, it's good that you're encouraging her. I always say that Casey always takes me out for a walk once a day, and she does. She's on her bike, so usually if I'm not biking, I'm basically chasing her, and that definitely elevates it. So it's kind of
Yes.
the reverse, but she's she's like you. She likes to encourage healthier living than I put myself up for.
Yes.
Awesome, Jenna. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. And thank you, everybody that's watching.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, bye.